Saskatchewan Roughriders once had a quarterback who posted astronomical numbers. They called him the Little General. He ruled Taylor Field and most other CFL fields. Now, Ron Lancaster is coaching the Edmonton Eskimos. While in Saskatchewan, another quarterback has done the unthinkable. He has taken aim at Lancaster's numbers. In 6 years, Kent Austin has gone from good to brilliant. He already has a Grey Cup to his credit. With Austin at quarterback, the Riders are deadly through the air. Today, the legend and his heir apparent line up against each other.
Tracy Ham is out of the lineup. Tom Mickey is in at quarterback. So with Mickey directing the Edmonton attack and Kent Austin leading Saskatchewan, two quarterbacks not particularly mobile guys, do the defenses go after them?
Well, you bet the defenses go after them, particularly Saskatchewan. They love to rush the passer and then come up and show blitz and back off into zone.
On the other side of the ball, Edmonton has to be a little more conservative. Kent Austin reads defenses extremely well and has a great quick release.
Well, you know that Saskatchewan is going to throw the football. The Edmonton Eskimos lead the CFL in rushing, but they don't have Blake Marshall again today. Will this affect their preparation?
Well, I think it's going to affect them. When you don't have the big guy in there blocking, Michael Souls said, hey, I'd like to get the ball more, but he can't do it without Blake Marshall in the lineup.
They're going to mix in. They're going to mix in with Chris Johnstone and also Brian Walling. Both guys are very, very versatile, but they catch the ball and they block extremely well for Tom Mickey.
We get our first look at Michael Saunders in the lineup of the Saskatchewan Roughriders today.
And Saunders is the kind of guy that Austin likes because he's another receiver out there. And he says, hey, don't worry about blocking. Just get out there and catch some passes.
He's had two big games already. He's looking for another big one today against the Edmonton Eskimos. Well, it's a nice November afternoon here in the Alberta capital. A temperature of 3 degrees. The wind should not be a factor, although the weatherman suggests there could be some showers or maybe even some snow flurry activity before this game comes to a conclusion. Edmonton Eskimos preparing to kick off. Ken Lazaruk is the referee this afternoon. He's number 53. Mike Saunders is back along with B.K. Williams, awaiting the opening kickoff for a game that could decide second place in the Western Conference. Saunders takes it at the 25-yard line, and Saunders brings it back to the 39, and that's where Saskatchewan will scrimmage first and 10, a 50-yard kickoff, a 14-yard return.
And what Kent Austin wants to do in this ball game is get the ball to his people and let them run. He doesn't like to run the football. He wants them to run after they catch the football.
And it's quite possible this afternoon that Kent Austin will surpass a record held by Doug Flutie for most passes attempted during the course of one season. He has to put the ball in the air 36 times. Here's the first. It's complete. And Fairholm has a first down to the 52 of the Edmonton Eskimos, tackled there by Trent Brown. 19 yards on the gain, and what a core of receivers quarterback Austin has to throw to. Mike Saunders is the new addition. Along the offensive line, Chris Giaskis has moved from guard to left tackle. Paul Veda starts at right guard. First and 10 from the 51, trying to set up the screen. It's over the head of Saunders. It will be second and 10. Defensively, the Edmonton Eskimos are a pretty solid organization. They haven't made any changes, really, from the lineup that we have seen most of the season. Willie Plus is having an outstanding year at linebacker. As a matter of fact, Ron Lancaster suggests that he should win the Outstanding Defensive Player Award this year. A little early promotion for number 39, Willie Plus. Austin's pass intended for Fairholm. It's incomplete. Knocked down by Willie Plus.
Well, that's the confidence that the Eskimos have on their defense, particularly in Plus when they put him on a guy like Fairholm.
Saskatchewan coming out early with their 5-pack, trying to get a mismatch with those Edmonton linebackers.
Willie Pless, the leader in the CFL in tackles. Brent Matich, who leads the West in punting average with his first of the afternoon. One man back. The Gizmo waits for the ball at the 9-yard line. The Gizmo this year has returned to punt 104 yards for a touchdown. He may not get an opportunity to run this one back. He is going to pick it up, but the sideline is pretty much closed off to him, and he's forced out of bounds by Stacey Hairston.
Tom Mickey's going into this football game with one start under his belt, and that was against the Toronto Argos, and they won that ball game. He would rather dominate the game with his offensive running, keep the ball away from Saskatchewan's passing attack.
And what a start he had against the Toronto Argonauts. He was spectacular that day in beating the Argos.
Well, that was the first week that he had a chance to take all the reps through the course of practice, and it really did prevail in that game.
1st and 10 from the 23. Mickey sends 3 receivers wide to the right. To the Gizmo, and the Gizmo can't get away from Albert Brown. The Eskimos line up this way with quarterback Tom Mickey replacing the injured Tracy Ham. J.J. Celestine is in there, and quite often I think you'll see the Eskimos go with 5 receivers. That's the way they line up right now. 2nd and 10, an obvious passing situation. And Saskatchewan with an extra defensive back in there. Mickey throwing for the Gizmo. He makes the catch, but he was out of bounds. And Albert Brown, once again, did a pretty good job of defending against him.
And you know what we're going to see? We're going to see number 2. I think Tom Mickey's sending a message that the Gizmo's going to get the football all day if they can get him one-on-one with either of the cornerbacks.
The Gizmo was Edmonton's nomination for outstanding player. And there was some discussion about that yesterday at the press conference, but Ron Lancaster said if you look at the terms of the description of the award, and this punt is partially blocked, and will roll out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Boyko got a piece of the punt, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders take over in excellent field position. Bruce Boyko in his 3rd season with the Riders got a piece of that Harper punt, and the Riders have great field position.
What Bruce Boyko did, he gave half of the body to that blocker, and then he reached through and got a piece of the punt. Good effort by Boyko.
Draw play with Saunders. Fine reaction by Larry Ruck and Willie Pless. Saunders in his debut was used primarily on special teams, and he had an outstanding game on special teams. And then last week he was used as a receiver as well, and he hauled in a 91-yard pass from quarterback Kent Austin. That's the longest pass and run play this year in the CFL. From the shotgun, Austin looks deep for Fairholm, incomplete. Knocked away by Eddie Thomas.
Eddie Thomas just sitting back in that zone did a great job of reacting on the post corner by Fairholm to Elgard. Right at the last minute, Eddie Thomas able to get his hands up and knock it down. Could have been a very easily intercepted pass.
One other game this afternoon in the CFL. Calgary and Hamilton are now tied at 14. That game is in the 3rd quarter, and we'll keep you posted as that game moves along at Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton. 3rd down punt by Brent Matich. He's angling it to the sidelines, and again the Gizmo does not get an opportunity to return it. The ball goes out of bounds at the 14. Scott?
Well, Don, how to make the last week of the regular schedule mean something. Here's what could be at stake in Week 18, the final week of the season. If Edmonton loses today, they must beat BC Saturday night and hope that Calgary defeats Saskatchewan on Sunday in order to get 2nd place. If the reverse happens, Saskatchewan is 2nd and hosts the semifinal. In the East, if Hamilton loses to Calgary today, Ottawa and Winnipeg will play for 1st at Winnipeg Stadium on Sunday. If Hamilton wins today, they could get 1st by beating Toronto and hoping that Ottawa defeats Winnipeg. And I was up all night, Don, figuring out all of those combinations.
Well, you almost need a computer to figure everything out. A mix-up in the backfield as Michael Souls and Tom Mickey collided on the exchange. And the Edmonton Eskimos, with Ty Jones making the tackle, are going to lose yards. Robert Banks and Bobby Jurison are the keys to trying to contain Tom Mickey, although he is not noted for his running ability. Ray Bernard plays the linebacking position. You'll see Dan Grayson in and out of the lineup. Kim McLeod coming in obvious passing situations.
One big change also, Whit, is that they bring Dave Bovell, a safety. They bring him up as a middle linebacker and take Bernard out.
Here comes the pressure up the middle. The pass is complete to Dunn. There's a penalty flag on the play. Casey Dunn should have a first down, but there is a penalty flag on the play.
There was contact away from the play for Stacey Harrison and Craig Ellis, and that may be where the call is going to be made.
Well, that won't take away Casey Dunn's great reception. That's a good job.
Legal contact on an eligible receiver. Saskatchewan number 2 declined. First down, Edmonton.
Casey Dunn had 268 catches at Idaho State, and he's second only to Jerry Rice in NCAA.
He was a little upset with the treatment he received with the BC Lions. He didn't want to go on the practice roster. He wound up coming to Edmonton. And they're looking for some big things from him. Craig Ellis keeps the streak alive. He extends it to 118 consecutive games, catching at least one pass. Tony Gabriel holds the CFL record, 137 consecutive games catching at least one pass.
And Craig Ellis got a little bit of help from one of his other receivers when they were coming to the outside. Celestine gave it just a bit of a rub. That opened it up for Ellis. Or would you call it a pick?
Ray Bernard came over to make the tackle. He led the Roughriders last week in his first starting assignment in tackles. He made 8 defensive tackles and 3 special team tackles. He's excelled in special team play all year.
The young rookie filling in for Dan Rasevich in the middle. Rasevich could be ailing a knee problem that he's had for 4 or 5 weeks.
Mickey operates from the shotgun formation. 1st and 10. The ball is at the 37-yard line. Here comes the blitz, and the pass falls incomplete. Tyrone Jones, coming from the outside, almost got to Tom Mickey. At one time, they were teammates with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The 31-yard field goal has moved the Calgary Stampeders in front of the Hamilton Tiger Cats now. 17-14, the Stampeders lead. They have wrapped up first place, of course, in the West.
When you face that guy and Tyrone Jones, Jurison and Jones, they're pretty good pass rushers.
I wonder if Mickey got much sleep last night knowing he'd see this.
Mickey steps up, throws for Craig Ellis, and it's intercepted by Charles Anthony. So the Saskatchewan Roughriders will take over at their own 45-yard line with 8:54 remaining in the scoreless opening quarter. Charles Anthony released by the Calgary Stampeders in their final cutdown with his 3rd interception of the season for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Well, Charles Anthony, he just played the football. He didn't worry about the man. He kept the man in front of him, looked through him to the football, and made a leaping catch.
Bobby Jurison was applying some pressure to Tom Mickey. Screen pass. Fairholm is down at the 50-yard line by Larry Ruck. That hitch screen is a play you love, isn't it, Joe?
Well, what I like about it is you get a guy like Larry Ruck out there, and he'll say hello to you. I mean, he can turn on your lights. He just came up and did a great job of unloading on them. That's the problem with the hitch screen.
That's the one thing Jeff's got to realize. If he's going to make his cut, make it to the outside, because when he makes it to the inside, traffic's coming. There's going to be a derailed train somewhere.
2nd and 5. Fake inside. Austin is under pressure, and down he goes back at the 42. Rob Davidson is the man who got to him.
Well, that's not the style. Ross Davidson got in because that's not Austin's style. He had to wait too long to throw. His style is 1, 2, 3, throw the football.
When he came out from underneath the center, Joe, his first quick look, he wanted to release it quick, but defense had jumped up there, pressed the man, took that quick hot read away, forced him to take 2 other steps back. And when you do get a sack, it's because somebody else is doing their job.
And it's usually that secondary giving bumps to those inside receivers. You hear him talk about destroy the timing so often.
2 people back for this 3rd down punt. It's taken by the Gizmo at the 20-yard line. Good downfield coverage by the Roughriders. Ray Bernard, who leads the team in special team tackles, was the first to make contact. Scott?
Don, there's been some suggestion the whole personality of the Eskimos football team changed when they lost the best fullback in the league to a shoulder injury in September. That doesn't make Blake Marshall feel any better. The good news is you will play next week. Is that a fact?
It's not a fact. It's I think I'm ready to play now, and we're just going to take it, see how it goes next week, and I'll test it out in practice. And like I said, if today was a playoff game, I'd be playing. So I know I'm going to be back this year. Just we're going to see what the outcome of this game is and what the meaning of next game brings.
All right, hope to see you back soon, Blake. The Eskimos need you.
Thanks, Scott.
Don?
Yes, Blake Marshall means so much to the Edmonton Eskimos. The pass was intended for Casey Dunn. It's incomplete. Quarterback Tom Mickey will attest to just how valuable Blake Marshall is back there.
Well, it's important for Blake to get into next week's game because there is a definite difference between conditioning and playing condition, and to be able to get in there and be used to taking hits and making the contact that Blake Marshall is used to is different than riding a bike or doing a stair machine to get your win.
We just saw an ISO of Ray Bernard running downfield with excellent coverage on the third down punt. Making the tackle, the pass. Is it intercepted? It appears as though it is. It was deflected. Tom Mickey, for the second time this afternoon, is picked off, and once again the Riders have great field position. David Bavell came up with the football. It was deflected, it appeared, by Grayson.
Yeah, Grayson made a good break on the football, and Bavell right there, as you said, he was playing up in that middle linebacker position, Dan, and what a great job he did. Great second effort.
So basically what they're doing, they have two safeties on the field at the same time. Glenn Suter behind, they take Dave Bovell, put him in the middle, and he plays like a center fielder.
Pass is complete to Williams, and then Williams is flattened at the 29 by Willie Pless.
Willie Pless came up and unloaded again. Those linebackers of Edmonton have that ability. They get that short punch. I know you don't understand what that's all about, Dan. These Edmonton linebackers now, they're hitters.
They are. Willie Pless can really stroke you. I mean, he's only 5'11", about 210, but the one thing that Willie does is great technique. He explodes with his thigh and his legs and getting everything that he can into the tackle.
It's a tough Kansas linebacker.
Jayhawk.
You think they'd learn a lesson, as you said earlier. Go to the outside. Don't cut back into the middle.
Oh, those receivers want to test those linebackers and try to run over them and hurt them anyway.
Are you kidding? Saunders, the ball carrier, will he get the first down? He's driven back by Damian Lyons and Willie Pless. Pless has certainly played a strong first half for the Edmonton Eskimos. The Eskimos have been in a hole throughout this opening quarter.
And Willie Pless has responded to the challenge. Here's a guy that's got 8 sacks this year, 5 interceptions, and you see what he does on short yardage. You know, he is the spirit of that football team.
Very unselfish defense. They play gap cancellation up front, where the big guys up front make the piles. They keep the blockers off the linebackers, and the linebackers' job is to make the tackle, and they do it extremely well.
And with Pless's speed, that's what makes him so effective, because he can go sideline to sideline.
Don Matthews with a career coaching record, 79 wins, 45 losses, and a tie. The 1985 Coach of the Year in the CFL. He's gambling on third down. The Riders just slightly ahead of the league average in trying to go after first downs, and Austin will get it as he got through to the 25-yard line before being driven back.
Well, with that defense a yard off the ball, all Austin has to do is follow the surge of his offensive line. But frequently and lately we have seen defenses get underneath that offensive line and just jam those quarterback sneaks.
5:35 the time remaining in the first quarter. No score in the football game. It's 1st and 10. Saskatchewan now at the 25 of the Edmonton Eskimos. Austin is looking for Narcisse. It's incomplete. Narcisse is attempting to become a 1,000-yard pass receiver for a 4th straight year. Doesn't need many yards to achieve that goal. Action coming your way this afternoon on CBC television from Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. And wherever you're looking in, we hope you enjoy our coverage.
Kent Austin's gone to these picks quite often. He's got the big slot backs. He's hoping they can pick for guys like Narcisse.
Well, Narcisse only needs 73 yards to become a 1,000-yard receiver. And Narcisse Narcisse will add to his total, taking the ball in front of Eddie Thomas.
Offensive line of Saskatchewan doing a great job, as they have, in giving Ken Austin enough time against that heat to throw a deep curl route.
You talked about the streak that Craig Ellis has, 118 consecutive games. Don Narcisse has a streak of his own. Austin throws to the end zone. B.K. Williams, touchdown. For a moment there was some indecision as to whether or not he had stayed in bounds, but he did, and the Roughriders have the early lead.
Well, Kent Austin threw that ball perfectly. There was only about 2 yards to dump that ball onto B.K. Williams, and there goes the chop. Oh, I hope we're not starting a new trend. But watch him dump this thing. He's only got a couple yards before B.K. goes out of bounds, and he gets the 1 foot in bounds. That's all you need.
And the official on the sideline hesitated just a moment before indicating that it was a touchdown. Penalty flags on the convert attempt. It appeared as though Edmonton was offside as David Ridgway added the extra point. So with 4:08 remaining in the first quarter, it's 7-0 Saskatchewan. We'll have the Rider kickoff after this. Both teams wind up the season on the road. Celestine on the kickoff return. He gets some room along the sidelines and brings it up to the 51-yard line, where he's brought down by Dan Farthing. Scott?
Well, Don, Tracy Ham's shoulder and the Calgary Stampeders have been a bad combination going back to almost a year ago when Ham suffered a separated shoulder in the West Final against Calgary. And this year it seems the Johnsons have personally targeted Ham's shoulder. Will Johnson got a good lick in on Labor Day. Last week, though, Alondra Johnson really did the job. Ham rolling right. Johnson's tackle separated Ham's shoulder. The Eskimos lost that one, and Ham is not playing today because of the shoulder injury. He is in the spotter's box helping direct the offense. It's being run by Tom Mickey.
And Tom Mickey dumps it off to the Gizmo. There's a penalty flag on the play as the Gizmo takes it out of bounds at the 41-yard line. It might be a holding call against Craig Ellis, who was out in front attempting to block. And that's the signal from referee Ken Lazarek. So it will be 1st and 20. The ball is back at the 41-yard line. Tom Mickey sends Sandusky wide to the right. From the shotgun formation, he has 2 receivers to the left. Mickey trying to dump it off over the middle. It's incomplete. It almost appeared to be a bit of a mix-up between Sandusky and Mickey as to the pattern Sandusky was going to be running.
Yeah, Sandusky ran a shallow in, and Mickey was expecting him to run a slant back to the inside deeper. It's a yeah, but play. Yeah, but I thought you said.
We've seen a few of those this year. 3:06 remaining in the opening quarter. 7-0. Saskatchewan leads Edmonton. Mickey again from the shotgun. 2nd and 20. The ball at the 41. Mickey is going to throw deep for Celestine. Incomplete. Charles Anthony had dropped back with the Eskimo wide receiver. And he was actually in a much better position to intercept than Celestine was to catch.
It looks like Saskatchewan's most effectiveness is to fake the blitz, and Coach Lancaster can't be very happy about that. They'll fake the blitz, and then they only rushed 3 that last time.
Exactly, and then come back and play the 3 deep zone behind it, and they just baited Tom Mickey to throw the ball deep into it. Could have been intercepted.
Mike Saunders is the lone man back. Penalty marker on the play. Harper's first punt only traveled 22 yards. Saunders won't get a chance to field it as it rolls out of bounds, but there's a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage with 2:32 remaining in the opening quarter.
Saskatchewan number 87, declined.
You got to kick that ball inbounds. Let them have some fun out there.
Well, Don Matthews has been attempting to angle the ball away from the Gizmo, and understandably so. The guy's returned 16 of them in his career for touchdowns.
They always talked about kickers being a different breed, but they're not stupid by any means. When you look back there and the Gizmo is back there, you do not want him to get his hands on the ball if you can help it.
Damon Allen has scored his 2nd touchdown of the game as the Hamilton Ticats now lead the Calgary Stampeders 21-17. Steve Taylor is playing quarterback for Calgary. Cam Austin playing quarterback for Saskatchewan is decked by Benny Goods.
Well, they faked the blitz, And when Benny Goods took off, he had a good start. And that's half of that pass rush is to get the good start. And he just ran right over top of offensive blocking. Vic Stevenson had a little trouble with him. And Benny Goods is just coming right over the top of his offense. And that, hey, you can't throw the football on your back.
But when you go to that 5-pack and then all of a sudden you take your fullback and push him to the wide side of the field, Ken Austin knows that he has to get rid of the ball quickly or he's going to get heat.
Austin gets rid of it this time to Saunders, and he's got a first down, taking the ball up to the 40-yard line where he's stopped by Leroy Blue. That's a 25-yard gain, but there's another penalty flag.
Roughing the passer, Edmonton number 36, first down Saskatchewan.
Now it's Dwayne Odoms that did it. You see Dwayne Odoms coming in. Benny Goods. Well, that's not fun to hit somebody like that, but it wasn't that rough.
Well, wait a minute now. Let's very questionable on the call here.
That wasn't so rough.
That wasn't so. He fell down and made it look a lot rougher.
Handoff inside to Saunders. There's another penalty flag in the play as Saunders got about 4 yards. The play originated at the midfield stripe, and it could be a holding against Chris Gioskas of the Roughriders. How difficult is it to move from right guard over to the left tackle position?
Oh, it's tough. Tackle is like being out there on an island.
Saskatchewan number 58, first down repeated.
You're all alone at tackle. That's a tough position to play.
When he's moved from the right guard, he's used to having those big meaty guys that are going to bull rush him right in the middle. When you get out on the tackle side, you're going to get the quick and the speedy guys that really make you move your feet. And sometimes you got to stick your hand out there and grab them.
Plus the center can't help you.
First and 20. There's the hitch screen to Fairholm. Fairholm gets to the outside. He's forced out of bounds, but he'll be very close to a first down.
That's what Kent Austin loves, is those receivers that have the ability to run with the football after they catch those little 5-yard passes.
How do you like the hitch screen now?
That was a great play.
And a receiver like number 80, Don Narcisse, come in. He made a great block to be able to spring that hitch screen.
It's about a yard short of a first down, but Fairholm made this with his exceptional running ability.
Farthing did a good job of blocking for him.
Second and 1, the pass complete to Elgard. The Eskimos, it appeared, were anticipating a quarterback sneak, and very quickly Austin flipped it out to Elgard, and he has the first down inside the 40.
That was kind of a neat play by Austin. He even crouched down like he was going with the quarterback sneak. But when you got the big guy out there, Elgard's like a sledgehammer. You give him the football, he's going to pound some people.
You give him, and the chance, and the defensive back is about 7 or 8 yards off the line of scrimmage on him. Just dump it out there and let him work with it.
From the shotgun, first and 10, Saskatchewan. Austin was looking for Fairholm. The pass was behind him, and it was knocked down by Willie Pless. Austin this year has had 10 games of 300 or better passing yards, 5 games at 400 or more passing yards, 416 completions and 695 attempps. Today he has passed for 107 yards.
And I think the greatest statistic that Kent Austin has is that their team is the least sacked team in the CFL.
And you know they're going to be passing almost every down. The pass is intended for Elgard, and another fine play by Willie Pless. Whoa, is he trying to confirm what faith the coach has in him by declaring he's the best defensive player in the CFL. That's the end of the first quarter. We always enjoy coming to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. This year, the Eskimos have had a little more difficulty winning on the only natural grass surface in the CFL than they have since they first moved in here in 1979. The field goal attempt is wide. The Gizmo takes it out of the end zone, and the Gizmo gets to some open field. Ridgway is the lone man back, and he brings them down.
What did I tell you, Don? They got to kick the ball to these return guys. That's when you put fun into the game. What a returner that Henry Williams is. The Gizmo gets those returns, does the front flips, does the back flips. 16 touchdowns, did you say, in his career from returns?
Mr. Excitement, just one little piece of misjudgment here that he thinks whether he should go out, whether he's not. And then once you make that step, you got to make something happen or you're going to be in a lot of trouble with Ron Lancaster. And he makes it happen for 70 yards.
And he believes every time he fields a kickoff, a missed field goal attempt, or a punt, that he can take it all the way. He has confidence in his ability. Brian Walling, the ball carrier, and he'll pick up about 5 yards. Robert Banks made the tackle. Ron Lancaster was saying yesterday he didn't really think the Eskimos would have a great deal of success today running the football against Saskatchewan.
I disagree with him. I think they're going to have some success because it looks clearly like Saskatchewan's gearing for the pass. They think Tom Mickey did a good job in his only start against Toronto. I think they'll be able to run.
Well, they haven't tried to run that often today. And this is a passing situation, 2nd and 5, and Mickey is going to throw for Craig Ellis. Down to the 7, tackled by Charles Anthony.
You can never emphasize enough the difference between a 2nd down and 5 yards to go. And Dan, being a linebacker, you know when you look over at those sticks, it's 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 5. That's a little harder to defend than 2nd and 10.
Once you see that great coverage right there, you just don't realize exactly what a good throw that was to Craig Ellis. It was on the money because there was perfect coverage.
33 yards for number 33. 1st and goal for the Eskimos. This was all set up by a 70-yard return on a missed field goal attempt by Henry the Gizmo Williams. Walling, the ball carrier, and he picks up just a couple of yards, stopped by Bobby Jurison. You know, Jurison took off some 32 pounds to play that rush end position. We were talking with him this morning at breakfast, and he said, maybe I've put on about 4 or 5 pounds since the season started.
If he's put it on in the right places, because we saw him working out yesterday. He looks like a man. Good job by Ellis of blocking. He got a little laundry there, but sometimes that happens.
2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. 12:28 remaining in the half. 7-0 Saskatchewan leads. Mickey throws to the end zone. Penalty flag. Sandusky.
Saskatchewan number 8. 1st down, Edmonton.
Charles Anthony trying to jump up there, get a press defense to close that man-to-man coverage down to give those guys very little room to operate. Gets called for really a no-brainer penalty at this point.
The Eskimos have been slow starters. The 2nd quarter has been their best most of the season. Penalty flags all over the place. Michael Souls, the ball carrier, and it appeared as though at least a couple of riders moved before the ball was snapped.
Give Rod Connick all the credit.
One of the officials just caught Ken Lazaruk's finger right in the side of his head.
Offside. Saskatchewan number 35. Still 1st down.
Lazaruk went to indicate the offside and nailed one of the officials.
Connick knows when to snap the ball. He saw the defense go offside. He snapped the ball. That's what an alert center will do.
So it's 1st and goal from the 1. The Eskimos taking advantage of 2 offside penalties. Souls didn't get there. And there's another penalty flag.
I bet that official will be out of the way this time. I told you.
Don Matthews has got to be upset about this, but there's 2 offside calls have been against defensive backs, not their interior linemen.
3 penalties in a row have been called against the Riders. 6 so far in the game. Mickey keeps. No signal yet.
Nobody wants to make the call up there.
Well, he didn't break the plane, apparently. So it will be 2nd and goal from the 1.
Remember now, the defense has to be 1 yard off the football. And that defense lines up 1 yard. That surge has to come in, and he's got to follow that and break that plane. The imaginary plane, he got stuffed. Grayson did a good job.
2nd and goal from the 1. Souls, he doesn't get there.
Credit Tyrone Jones with that key play. Number 35, Tyrone Jones, the outside linebacker, came in on a pinch. And Michael Souls tried to spin off of him. He just couldn't get it done. Watch him take the ball to the left. And here comes Jones.
all that takes time. Mickey's taking the ball, countering out there. That takes precious seconds, and that gives Ty, as you just said, time enough to come off that corner, pinch down hard, make the big tackle.
The Riders have stopped them twice. 3rd and goal from the 1. And Mickey is going to throw for Sandusky, wide open in the end zone. Gutsy type of call by the Edmonton Eskimos on 3rd and goal from the 1.
He waited till Sandusky came open.
Fleming adds the point after, and with 10:16 remaining at Commonwealth Stadium, Saskatchewan and Edmonton fighting for 2nd place are tied at 7. That's Jim Sandusky's shortest touchdown reception of the 11 times he has crossed the goal line this year. He put the capper to a 45-yard drive, but again, it was set up by that 70-yard kick return by Henry the Gizmo Williams. Saunders waits for the ball at the 21-yard line. Saunders cuts it back to the middle and gets to the 39, where he's stopped by Stephen Jordan and Willie Pless. That was a 54-yard kickoff and an 18-yard return.
Gotta work.
Jim Sandusky scored the major. Tom Mickey made the call. I wonder what the coach, Ron Lancaster, was thinking as he looked out and saw Mickey toss it into the end zone to Sandusky.
I'll tell you what he was thinking. Why in the world did he call that? Good call.
Just like I coached.
He saw 3 people coming in on Mickey. I don't think he was sure that was the good call.
1st and 10 from the 39. Pass is complete to B.K. Williams for a Saskatchewan 1st down across the midfield stripe.
Kent doing a great job that time of putting 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, really stretching the Edmonton defense, and that gives those receivers more room to operate, able to make a good completion.
Yeah, they're really stretching them out. They're using all 65 yards of that field to get those corners way outside.
Twice this year, Williams has been a 100-yard receiver for Saskatchewan. He's been out of the lineup a fair bit as a result of injury. Saunders, the ball carrier, and he'll have a gain of about 8 yards taking the pass from Austin. Enos Jackson brought him down. 2nd and 3, Saskatchewan. Absolutely nowhere for Milson Jones to run as Lloyd Lewis nailed him right at the 50-yard line.
That's what you have to do against the counter play. When you get those 2 linemen pulling, you got to don't worry about read. Just come upfield, make the tackle. Lloyd Lewis, he didn't read anything. He saw the lineman pull. He came into the backfield, and Gizmo's got a chance for another return.
36 for the Riders, all just inside the Eskimos 50.
Brent Matich leads the West with a 40.9-yard punting average. Good kick. The Gizmo waits for it at the 5. David Pitcher was downfield to make the tackle at the 7. Joe Clark should have had Dan Kepley campaigning for him in the referendum. Brian Walling, the ball carrier. Ty Jones made the tackle.
That's where Dan got all that money, you know.
Mickey in the shotgun. He rolls to his left. Throws deep, intended for Ellis, and he's got it.
And there'll be a roughing the passer call after Mickey threw the football. And he showed a lot of poise. He waited and waited. This guy from Baylor, he knows about the passing game, and he knows how much time it takes for his receivers to get open. He waited to the last instant, and then he milked a roughing the passer penalty on top of that.
Perfect, though, as he moves the pocket out to the left. 38, Bernard just comes in and gives him a little shot at the last. I'm not so sure that that's roughing the passer. But anyway, that is the 2 things that they may miss. When Tracy Ham is in that situation, the threat to run is always there.
That's one of the big differences. Tracy Ham really causes the defense just to hold up a bit before they make any commitment.
And that usually results in a real big play.
Ellis again. He's very much a factor this afternoon. Caught by Charles Anthony. His last pass was good for a 34-yard gain. Earlier, he had one for 33 yards.
Both of these teams seem to be content to use crossing patterns, the old basketball pick.
Second and 5 for the Eskimos.
Ellis now has 4 receptions for 82 yards. Somehow, Eskimo quarterbacks always seem to get the ball to Craig Ellis. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that he has a knack of getting open.
Offside, Saskatchewan number 35, first down Edmonton.
Actually, it was Ty Jones who was offside. Both he and Bevell moved. You know, even though the Edmonton Eskimos have thrown fewer passes than any team in the CFL this year, they have scored more touchdowns passing than any team in the CFL. And Tom Mickey will attempt to add to the total as he fires over the middle to Craig Ellis.
It seems like Mickey's got some rhythm. He knows how long that offensive line will protect him, and he's delivering the ball.
I think the big change right now from an offensive line point of view is the fact that they know that Mickey is going to stay somewhere between the tackles when he throws the ball. When you've got a rambling quarterback like Tracy Ham back there, sometimes you have no idea where Tracy's going to end up after he takes the snap.
Craig Ellis now has 101 yards. And this is the Gizmo taking it out of bounds, about 3 yards shy of a first down. Tom Mickey has altered his throwing motion. When he was in Winnipeg, he used to have a bit of a hitch in his throwing motion. He's taken that out of it since he's come to the Eskimos.
Well, I'm sure the little general, being the quarterback that he was, had a lot to do with Mickey's development.
Mickey has now thrown the football for 113 yards, most of that total in the direction of Craig Ellis. 2nd and 3, and Michael Soles is hit and driven back by Grayson. But his forward progress should provide the Eskimos with a first down.
Seems like every short yardage situation, they run over Rod Connop because he's that guy that can move people out of there. That center of the Eskimos, he's been doing that for about 10 years now, and he's done it well.
Rod Connop had some interesting comments. He said he doesn't like to arrive at the park until the last possible moment. He doesn't want to be sitting in the dressing room thinking about the task at hand. He likes to get here just before he has to get dressed to go out onto the field. Mickey into the end zone. Craig Ellis is wide open. He's got a touchdown.
Charles Anthony had trouble with this natural surface, the only one in the CFL, and when he tried to make that move with Ellis, watch Charles Anthony. He went down. Craig Ellis is giving the souvenir up to the stands. Hey, that's an expensive souvenir. It's not a foul ball, you know. This isn't baseball, Craig. If you can afford earrings like that, you can afford footballs.
Craig Ellis has been the prime target of quarterback Tom Mickey this afternoon, and his touchdown has moved the Eskimos in front. Sean Fleming attempting the point after. And the Edmonton Eskimos now lead 14-7 with 4:50 remaining in the first half here at Commonwealth Stadium. For Ellis, his 9th touchdown this season. But he was the key man in the drive. It's only fitting, I suppose, that he should also put it into the end zone.
Ellis runs a nice route, looks to the inside, makes his little weave to the outside, and boom, there goes Anthony down on the turf.
That's a good day's work, never mind first half, 5 receptions for 112 yards.
I think he does a great job as he sprints out to the wide side of the field and then a throwback post corner. Craig was able to get head up with Charles Anthony, and once you get head up, the advantage then goes to the receiver.
Craig Ellis, a former member of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He was playing some flag football in Edmonton.
Craig had been all over the CFL, living out of a suitcase, and actually was found in the St. Albert area playing flag football, if you can imagine, and he has turned and just rekindled his whole career.
Saunders on the kickoff return. He's got some blocking help, and then the ball comes loose.
They're saying that the ground created the fumble.
Austin from the shotgun. Completes the pass to Williams, but he is hit by Damian Lyons. 2nd and 10 from the shotgun. Austin throwing to the sidelines over the head of B.K. Williams. Stefan Jordan had pretty good coverage on him, and Austin was simply throwing that one away.
Another guy you played with, Warren Moon, could almost throw it from his back.
The Gizmo waits for the ball at the 22-yard line. And again, good downfield coverage. Bruce Boyko is there to make the tackle. 3:09 is the time remaining in the first half here at Commonwealth Stadium. A 45-yard punt, a 6-yard return that time by the Gizmo. Last time he got a starting assignment against Toronto, he was on the telephone to tell his parents, pick up the game on satellite. I'm going to be starting. His parents are here to watch him play today. Pass is complete to Winey way downfield at the 45-yard line. Stacey Hairston made the tackle. So Tom Mickey continues to move the Eskimos with 2:44 remaining in the half. He came to the Eskimos from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and he hasn't seen a lot of action this season, but he made a big catch for 39 yards, hauling in a wobbly Tom Mickey pass, taking it to the 44 of Saskatchewan.
Wobbly passes count too. That wobbly pass was pretty good.
That guy we spoke about, that Wilkinson guy, made a career of throwing wobbly passes.
It's now 32-17, Hamilton leading Calgary. Mickey's going to run this one, and he's forced out of bounds by Ty Jones and Ray Bernard. And as he ran that ball out of bounds directly in front of the Eskimo bench, you could hear the players shouting encouragement.
Yeah, he had no place to go, so he took off running with it. He tried to get some blockers forming for him upfield, but he really isn't the Tracy Ham running threat. He got 3 yards.
Most of that yelling was Ty Jones telling him he better stay in bounds because he wanted to get a little piece of him.
The pickup of 3 at 2nd and 7 out of the shotgun. 2:25 remaining in the first half. Mickey got that one away just in time as Gerald Bayless was rolling along in 5th gear and was all set to flatten the quarterback, and did just as he threw.
Gerald Bayless, he's had 6 sacks so far this year, but his hurries are the thing that count. The coaches say that he's in there hurrying the quarterback all the time. As a nose tackle, that's very important. He's the backbone of their defense.
Grayson did a great job as an outside linebacker, came upfield to contain Mickey and allowed Bayless to make that sack from behind, or that shot.
Sean Fleming will attempt a 48-yard field goal. It's wide. Stacey Hairston comes out of the end zone, and Hairston has some room. Then it's closed off by Sean Fleming, but not before Hairston got up to the 29-yard line.
Sean Fleming looked like a football player coming over there making the tackle. That's not bad for a kicker.
One of the problems Sean Fleming has had this season is inconsistency. He has had spells where he's been very accurate, and then he has had stretches where his kicking has been off the mark.
He's been 61%, but that doesn't tell the whole story. He's missed some short kicks. Austin, hey, he's having a bad game, you say. He's still 150 yards.
He's been averaging 43 pass attempts per game. The bad snap gets away from him. Austin being chased by Benny Goods. He throws the ball incomplete. Austin was lucky that that ball bounced back into his hands. The fans reacted, thinking that Austin simply threw it away. I think Austin would probably admit that he did. Mike Anderson may have been the closest man to the football, but there was no flag.
I think the fans know he was just throwing the football away. He was throwing it at Mike Anderson, the center, and he's not eligible.
Second and 10, Saskatchewan. The ball is at the 29 with 1:57 remaining in the first half. Austin's in some trouble. He's going to run, and he goes down before he gets a first down. He had to take about 2 more strides. Now, I don't know whether he was trying to hit the turf or whether he slipped as he was trying to cut, but it appeared as though he had some room to get the first down.
He still had 2 or 3 more strides in him before he could have hit the turf and actually picked up the first down.
14-7, Edmonton leads. Saskatchewan was first on the board. The Riders had a 7-0 lead, and they had excellent field position for most of the opening quarter. All they could get was a single touchdown. Williams waits for the ball. Williams looks for a block and then runs into 3 Saskatchewan defenders. And Rasevich was one of those who was in on the tackle. A 41-yard kick, a 7-yard return. Maybe Austin, as he tried to make the cut, slipped right out of his shoe. Let's take another look at it.
Well, watch his feet right here. That'll let you know what happened to him. That shoe comes flying off as he made the move. Right there.
Well, he's not noted for his speed, but running out of his shoes does create some problems for you.
So obviously it was a slip, and Austin wasn't going down shy of those first down markers. Tom Mickey has outperformed Kent Austin so far this afternoon. Mickey looking for more for Sandusky. Incomplete. Sandusky looks back thinking that he may have been interfered with, and there's a lot of support along the Edmonton bench yelling at the sideline official that Sandusky was interfered with by the defender, Benson Donaldson. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he made contact, but I don't know if that was a catchable football.
I think it's incidental contact. Their feet just got tangled up there.
17 remaining in the half. 2nd and 10, Edmonton. Mickey for Williams, incomplete. Albert Brown recovered just in time.
And if Albert Brown hadn't put his hand up, Dan, that would have been a penalty.
I think we may need to take another little quick look at that if we can, to see if actually he put his hands up, but if he got his head turned right at the last minute to actually constitute a good defensive play. Other than that, it could be face guarding. Right here, you're seeing his head hasn't turned. He just throws his hands up right in the middle of Giz's face. I'd throw the flag on it.
No, I think he got the foot. As long as you hit the football, you can't call face guarding. But that's why we're up here and the officials are down there. They didn't call anything, so.
1:10 remaining in the half. Saunders waits for Harper's kick at the 25. Saunders is going to lose yards. Back to the 18. Jed Roberts was there to make the tackle. A 52-yard kick, a loss of 6. Scott?
Don, let's go back to a comparison we drew at the outset of this telecast between Kent Austin and the guy that played quarterback in almost legendary status before him at Taylor Field. In 19 seasons, Lancaster threw for over 50,000 yards, or about 29 miles, 3,300 completions. Seemed almost unthinkable that anyone would ever be able to approach those numbers again, and now Kent Austin is. In fact, if he could play for 19 years, he would shatter Lancaster's numbers. In 6 years, he's already thrown over 20,000 yards of passes, just about half as many completions. And I'd say about 8 or 9 more years and the records will all be his.
I don't think Kent Austin's going to be around for another 13 years, though.
Not with shotgun snaps like that. I mean, that's 2 times the last 2 shotguns. One has been way over his head, and the other one has been right down on the ground.
I think Mike Anderson has a way of getting back at it for not throwing that pass to him.
Well, that'll make you concentrate on the snap. One's low, one's high. Quarterbacks don't like those kind of surprises.
The clock is running, 36 seconds remaining in the half. Hand off to Saunders, trying to get to the outside, and Benny Goods brought him down right at the line of scrimmage. Maddox stands right at the goal line for this 3rd down punt. The clock will not start until the ball is snapped. The Gizmo is standing near midfield. Eddie Thomas will take it at the 40-yard line. He lost the football, and it's recovered by Saskatchewan. Pitcher comes up with the football, so the Roughriders get it back at the 40-yard line. 18 seconds remaining in the half.
Well, that short kick certainly paid off, because Eddie Thomas, who normally doesn't field the kicks, bobbled that thing. It just hit his thigh pad and bounced away. Pitcher's a Johnny on the spot. Actually, he almost scored. If Edmonton hadn't been alert, pitcher would have been down for the touchdown.
18 seconds remaining in the half. Austin would like to at least put it within field goal range. Pass complete to Saunders. Saunders cuts back to the inside and he gets to the 53. Leroy Blue made the tackle. 10 seconds remain in the first half.
And Ray Yock said that Kent Austin knows the game and studies film better than anybody he's ever been around, including you, Dan.
Those offensive guys do that.
Austin throws to the sidelines. Williams steps out of bounds at the 39. Forced out by Stephan Jordan with 3 seconds remaining. And Ridgway will now come into the ball game to attempt a field goal.
At 47 yards, Don.
Certainly within the range of David Ridgway, who has had 4 consecutive seasons of better than 200 points. The first kicker in CFL history to do that.
This year, his longest is 47. That's a little bit less than 47.
Very important right now for Saskatchewan not to go to sleep. If this field goal is missed, they have to get down there and cover it, or the Gears will put 6 on the board for you.
This one is good. So the Saskatchewan Roughriders are able to take advantage of that fumbled football, and Ridgway cuts the deficit to 4 points on the final play of the half. Well, Tracy Ham watches, but Tom Mickey hasn't done a bad job in directing the attack for the Edmonton Eskimos. He has them in front 14-10. He was player of the week when he led the Eskimos to a 39-16 win over the Toronto Argonauts back in August. He'd like to duplicate that performance today, and he'll get the ball to start the second half as David Ridgway prepares to kick off. Celestine waits for it at the 21-yard line. Celestine brings it back to the 46. That's where Mickey and the Eskimos will scrimmage, 1st and 10. Statistically, this was the story in the opening 30 minutes. Fair bit of offense by both sides, with the Eskimos having the edge, 191 yards to 157. 3 turnovers for the Eskimos didn't prove to be nearly as costly as they might have.
I think that last turnover, Dan and I were talking about that right before the half. That wasn't a very good one. That fumble on the punt return.
That was probably about a 10-point swing in the score of what we see of the chance of Edmonton being able to go down and score.
Screen pass to the Gizmo. He cuts back inside and he bounces off Rod Conop and gets a first down into the 54 of the Roughriders. This is what Tom Mickey did in the first half of today's ball game. 11 completions and 18 attempts for 175 yards, and after 2 early interceptions, he came back to throw touchdown strikes to Jim Sandusky and Craig Ellis.
One of the things that Coach Lancaster said about Tom Mickey is that he reads defenses, and that's the big key to this ball game.
He's picked off again the 3rd time this afternoon, and Benson Donaldson may go all the way. There's a penalty flag on the play. And this one might be brought back despite the return for what Benson Donaldson thinks is a touchdown. It could be an interference call against Benson Donaldson.
Number 27, Saskatchewan. Holding, Edmonton, number 58. Still first down.
Wow, what a break for the Eskimos. Ron Lancaster breathes a sigh of relief. 1st and 10, Edmonton. The ball at the 54 of the Roughriders. 4 receivers wide to the right. Mickey from the shotgun. Looks over the middle and he finds Michael Soles. First down to the 35, taken out of bounds by Ty Jones.
That was a perfect delay pattern. Michael Soles blocked, and then he came back out underneath the play, and Mickey held the ball just long enough to get Soles back underneath. Those linebackers were dropped way out of there. Nice straight arm on Ty Jones. It gave him another 5 yards.
Ty Jones was attempting to knock the ball loose as he was bringing him down. That's the first time that the Eskimos have thrown to a back so far in the ball game. 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. 4 receivers to the right again. Here's the reverse with the Gizmo. And getting in there from behind to make the tackle is Banks, and there's a penalty flag in the play. This could be a face mask call against Robert Banks.
Face mask. Saskatchewan number 87. First down, Edmonton.
Is it my imagination, or does the gizmo, every time he gets the ball, make something happen?
Well, you have to respect his speed so much, and I think that's what terrifies opponents. They called number 87 for the face mask, but it was clearly number 97, Robert Banks. 1st and 10. Edmonton just inside the 15 from the shotgun. Mickey looks to the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for J.J. Celestine. He was being covered by Albert Brown.
J.J. Celestine looks good on kick returns. He looks like a good receiver. He had the knack of pulling away from the defender, but Albert Brown, you don't fool him. He's been playing too long to let somebody do that to him in the end zone. Look at how he plays the football.
Albert Brown was quite excited last week at Taylor Field in Regina. His mother came up to watch him play, the first time she had seen him play as a professional with the Roughriders, and he had a strong game in Saskatchewan's win over the BC Lions. 2nd and 10, again from the shotgun. Mickey under pressure. He throws to the end zone. Stacey Hairston knocked it down.
I think Jim Sandusky broke up that pass because Hairston looked like he was going to make the reception. Fortunately, Ellison Sandusky came over and played defense.
That was a great thing because it was just thrown up for grabs. Saskatchewan came with an all-out blitz. They brought the outside linebacker and the halfback on that side. Got right up in Tom Mickey's face. He threw the ball. It was a bad choice to try to throw that ball up for grabs.
Stacey Hairston went right out onto the track that surrounds the playing field. Commonwealth Stadium, of course, was erected in 1978 for the Commonwealth Games, but the track is in a sad state of disrepair right now. Field goal attempt by Fleming. It's good, but there are penalty flags. The application of the too many men penalty, half the distance to the goal line. The Eskimos retain possession, and they have it 1st and goal from the Saskatchewan 7. Saskatchewan, the most penalized team in the league coming into the game, and penalties have hurt the Riders this afternoon. They trail 14-10. Mickey from the shotgun looking for 7 for Sandusky. Incomplete. He was covered by Stacey Hairston.
Well, it's clear that Sandusky was looking for the football over his outside shoulder, and it was thrown over his inside shoulder. He tried to make the adjustment.
Little rub inside with him and Ellis, and as he said, once he made the clear break, the play was going to the outside. The ball was thrown back to the inside, Joe.
Yeah, when you have a pick, usually you want that ball thrown to the outside.
You want it thrown out.
That's what he was looking for.
Don't throw it behind him because there's where the defender is trying to catch up and make ground on him.
2nd and goal from the 7. Here comes pressure from the outside. And again, Mickey missed his receiver by a huge margin. McLeod, who came into the ball game at the outside linebacking position, was blitzing. And Dunn was the receiver that was going deep into the end zone, but the pass was nowhere near him.
So you got to wonder who the too many men penalty was against. It might have been against one of these guys like McLeod, because, hey, they came in and made it up. That's a good play by Saskatchewan. Those last 2 plays prevented a touchdown.
So Sean Fleming gets another opportunity to try a field goal, and again he puts it through the uprights as the Edmonton Eskimos extend their lead to 7 points with 11:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
As a defensive team, you got to think right now, that's a victory. Once that you have made that many mistakes to allow Edmonton to march down the field and you hold them to a field goal, that's a big turn in the point spread.
And how about the Toronto Argonauts? 0-9 on the road this year. You know what it's like to go winless on the road, Joe. Had to bring that up, didn't I? Saunders on the kickoff return. And he continues fighting and gets out to about the 39-yard line, forced out by Odom. That's a 17-yard run back. Scott?
Well, Don, Ken Austin's made a strong case to represent the West Division as outstanding player. Team nominations announced this week. Gizmo Williams is Edmonton's nominee. Elgard of the Riders, the odds-on favorite to win outstanding Canadian. And Larry Ruck represents the Eskimos. Vic Stevenson and Pierre Verchevel, the nominees for offensive linemen playing in this game today. And Gerald Bayless, Willie Pless are the nominees for outstanding defensive player. Ray Bernard and Chris Morris received the nominations for top rookie. And these, of course, just the first-round nominees. The second round, the division finalists will be announced next week. Don?
Penalty flag on the play. B.K. Williams made the catch, even though the ball bounced away from him initially.
Forward pass interference. Edmonton, number 10. First down, Saskatchewan.
A 15-yard penalty against Damian Lyons. The interference call as he was all over B.K. Williams.
Ken Austin doing what he does best. Quick read, quick throw, and quick release. Damian Lyons able to close in tight on BK. Made contact before the ball got there.
The Hicks screen to Fairholm. He breaks one tackle, stays on his feet, and takes it out of bounds with a gain of about 7. It looked as though he was going to be trapped by Leroy Blue for no gain.
Great second effort by Fairholm. And remember, this guy has excellent speed. When he gets the football, he breaks it the only place he should break it, to the outside. And watch him get loose. And there's nobody that can catch him. They have the angle, but he still makes a nice gain.
I think a lot of secondary guys in the CFL really do not judge how fast he is, Joe.
Over the middle, and Ray Elgard, usually so sure-handed, drops one on 2nd and 5.
Well, Austin threw it a little bit behind him, and when you have to turn your body that way to try to catch the football, that makes it tough. He had to turn and actually catch the ball thrown behind him. He's going the wrong direction. Lead the ball, lead it. Don't throw it behind me.
Quick little peek there as he comes over. Not that Ray has to worry about contact. He's a guy that looks for contact, but he knew that at that point in time, had he caught the ball, he was looking for somebody to stroke him.
I like that expression you use, stroke him. And Williams is stroked by Rasevich back at the 17-yard line, and that's where Edmonton will scrimmage when we return. Ham is not dressed this afternoon, so he is in the spotter's box in a position usually occupied by Bill Diedrich, the offensive coordinator, and he's down on the sidelines this afternoon.
Good situation right now because that puts Bill down there where he can be in direct contact and communication with Tom Mickey during every play.
He conferred with Mickey just before he went out on the field. Mickey over the middle for Craig Ellis. First down up at the 33, brought down by Charles Anthony.
First down for the Eskimos.
Tom Mickey has his 5 receiver pack in the ball game, and he's reading the defense well. He's doing a good job of reading just what coverage they're going to find them in, and he got that seam pattern, put it right where he had to.
Right where he had to, threw it right before it came across the field and got in the zone of that middle linebacker, Bernard.
Craig Ellis again to the 40-yard line, stopped by Vincent Donaldson. Craig Ellis is having a career type of afternoon.
Well, he's one of the favorite targets of any quarterback that the Eskimos have had in there the last 3 years. And the reason is that he runs such good routes. He knows exactly what the quarterback's thinking.
Pretty soft zone there by Saskatchewan, allowed that pass to be completed. Edmonton doing a good job of keeping Bayless out of Tom Mickey's face, and also Michael Souls on the corner allowed him to buy a little more time by moving the pocket.
Michael Souls, the ball carrier, the McGill product, and the Vanier Cup MVP, will be very close to a first down. Suter and Ray Bernard brought him down. Measurement revealed, an Edmonton first down. The ball is at the 44-yard line. The way Craig Ellis is going today, he could go over 1,000 yards this season. Craig Ellis takes it out to the 52 of Saskatchewan. Vincent Donaldson made the tackle. Craig Ellis now has 9 catches for 148 yards.
And Craig Ellis has played about 12 years in this league. It's not like he's some youngster that's enthusiastically having a good game. He does this all the time.
He now has 973 yards for the season. Already 8 receivers in the CFL this year are over 1,000 yards. takes it out of bounds. Very close to another first down. That's catch number 10 for Craig Ellis.
I think Tom Mickey has found a receiver.
Well, I think every quarterback who's ever played with Craig Ellis knows that number 33 wants the ball, because I think he quite often tells them that.
I was gonna say, what receiver doesn't come back in the huddle and say, God, I was open, didn't you see me?
But Craig Ellis has a nice way about him. He's sort of a Ricky Foggy type. He's always smiling and always achieving.
Well, quarterbacks are going to throw him the football when he catches them the way Craig Ellis does. 1st and 10 from the 42. This is a mix-up. Somebody went the wrong way, and Gerald Bayless made sure that Tom Mickey didn't go any further.
Michael Souls has got to go back to the huddle and say, that's my fault. He went off at just an off-tackle play, and he broke to the left. Tom Mickey and the right guards are pulling there. That's Randy Ambrosi going to the right. Misdirection on miscommunication.
Remember, Brian Walling was injured, so Michael Souls is getting his wish. He said, I want to carry the ball more, but if you don't go the right way, you won't get the ball.
You surely get the attention of the quarterback when he reaches out there to hand it to somebody and there's nobody there. There's a little bit of panic sets in.
2nd and 12, Edmonton from the shotgun. Mickey throwing deep. Nowhere near the intended receiver. Winey was downfield, but it was well over his head. Glenn Suter had the best shot at it. This could be the final year for Ken Winey. He's had a number of injury problems.
There's Bob Jurison. He got knocked down, but watch the effort. He only took one wheel and he jumped back up and banked to the left. That's an all-out guy right there.
Well,
you're going to get 110%.
Look at the size of the arms on that guy there. I tell you what, I mean, he may have dropped 15 or 20 pounds in there, but I think he put it all back in the arms. Those are big. They look like Chris Walby arms.
He didn't lose anything in the upper body. And can you imagine he was lifting weights yesterday?
Harper's 3rd down punt. Saunders gets an opening. And he brings it back to the 42. Fumble. It's loose. Recovered by the Eskimos. Jed Roberts comes up with the football.
You know, you want to talk about players that contribute to your football team. Try a guy like Jed Roberts. I think that's what we lack in the CFL. We don't have an all-special teams team. But if they did, Jed Roberts would be one of those guys. Run down the field 70 yards, make a tackle, recover the fumble. That's football.
A 46-yard return, and then Saunders puts it on the ground when the Riders appeared to have great field position. Jed Roberts was there to pounce on the football. Dan Murphy appeared to take it away from him just as he fell.
Give credit to Glenn Harper because he got outside and caused Saunders to have to break back in to where the pursuit was to allow that tackle and that fumble to take place.
Gizmo has the ball, and the Gizmo spins his way into the 33, but there's a penalty flag in the vicinity of the 50-yard line.
Holding, Edmonton number 33, 1st down repeated.
Who, me? I didn't touch the man.
Jed Roberts excels on special teams for the Edmonton Eskimos, as Ray Bernard does for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
And those guys deserve an awful lot of credit. Jed Roberts, Ray Bernard, they are downfield making a lot of hits.
5:14 remaining in this 3rd quarter. An offside call. Lewis moved before the ball was snapped. Sandusky makes the catch. And then Sandusky is decked at the 52. But it appeared as though Gary Lewis was offside on the play.
Offside, Saskatchewan number 79, 1st down repeated.
The top of your screen, there's Gary Lewis, number 79, moving prior to the ball being snapped.
Why would that upset Tyrone Jones?
Over on the sidelines, he and Randy Ambrosi had an exchange. 1st and 15. Craig Ellis. Pardon me, make that Ken Winey on the receiving end of the throw.
Really important right now, the way Tom Mickey, he's actually mixing up the receiving core across the board. There's not one particular, other than Craig Ellis, that he likes to throw to, but he's all of a sudden, when you start concentrating more on Craig Ellis, then a guy like Winey comes open, or Sandusky comes open, and it's really, or the Giz come, and it really puts the defense back on their heels.
For a while this year, Tyrone Jones was playing inside. He's more comfortable outside. This is intercepted by Albert Brown. Has he got the speed to go all the way? Yes. A 68-yard interception return for Albert Brown.
Well, Albert Brown was the recipient of a tipped ball. And the way the play set up, there was nobody left. Everyone was, of course, to the inside, the right hash mark. Albert Brown gets this football.
The 6th interception this year for Albert Brown, and he takes it 68 yards for the major score. He was in a foot race with Chris Morris, and there was no question about who was going to win it.
And Bobby Jurison helped him with that lead block.
So with 3:58 remaining in the third quarter, Ridgway adds the point after, and the Eskimos and the Roughriders are deadlocked at 17, and we'll be back with the Saskatchewan kickoff after this. Albert Brown, who joined Saskatchewan in 1987, gets his 2nd career interception return for a major score. The ball was tipped by Ken Winey, and Brown took it 68 yards the other way.
This fits right into the philosophy of Don Matthews defensively. If your offense is struggling, make something happen defensively. Get 2 and out, give the ball back to the offense as many times as you can and try to give them an opportunity to score, or score yourself defensively, as Albert Brown just did.
Bruce Boyko was there to make the tackle on J.J. Celestine after a 17-yard return. Checking the scoring of this game, tied at 17. A 12-yard pass to Williams made it 7-0. Then Sandusky's touchdown pass from 1 yard out tied it. In the second quarter, a 16-yard pass to Craig Ellis made it 14-7 Edmonton. A 46-yard field goal by David Ridgway produced a 14-10 halftime score. A 14-yard field goal by Fleming made it 17-10 Edmonton, and then the 68-yard interception return by Brown has tied it at 17, 1st and 10. Edmonton, they are at their own 33-yard line, 3:32 remaining in the third quarter. The toss to Williams on the reverse. The Riders were ready for that one. They got caught earlier, but Tyrone Jones was waiting for the gizmo.
And Stacey Hairston right up on the line of scrimmage waiting as well. So Tyrone Jones, he made it turn back to the inside.
Ty doing exactly what he is supposed to do, in the sense that he is supposed to be a contained rusher, be as deep as the deepest man. As he normally pinches off of that corner, as we've seen through the course of this game, he saw that Giz was coming back at him, got some depth, and able to shut that reverse down for nothing.
All 17 of the Rough Rider points have been the result of turnovers. A low throw, incomplete. The official waved it off immediately. It was intended for Casey Dunn. So with 2:51 remaining, the Saskatchewan Roughriders will get the football back. Ron Lancaster knows how important this game is to the Edmonton Eskimos. A win would wrap up second place and home field advantage. A loss, of course, means that the Eskimos would have to win their final game of the season at BC Place Stadium, while Saskatchewan loses to the Calgary Stampeders next week.
You guys sense any kind of momentum change here? A little swing?
There's been a bit of a swing in this third quarter, thanks to some solid defensive play by the Rough. 21-yard punt, 1st and 10 Saskatchewan from the 50. Austin throws for Elgard. He's got it at the 23. That more than atones for an earlier pass that Elgard got a hand on but couldn't hold. The pass, however, was behind him, so you can't really fault him too much for that other drop.
And how many passes have we seen today on the post corner route? It seems like the slot backs are having a great day on both sides of the ball, running those post corners.
You know, the Riders have 4 receivers this year who have had at least one game of over 200 yards. Elgard is one of them. Saunders is another, and he's got another first down. Larry Ruck made the tackle. Austin throws it into the end zone, incomplete. I think Fairholm was the man he was looking for, but he seemed to get bumped off his pattern at the line of scrimmage. And that's what Austin is complaining about, that he was really roughed up by Enos Jackson.
Pretty close
penalty
call.
flag.
As Fairholm came off, Enos got right in his face, jammed him right at the goal line, and Kent Austin believes that that ball is in the air.
He's pulling that suit right off the rack here.
.106 remaining in the third quarter. 17-17 the game. On second down, Saunders takes the pass, but he'll be prevented from getting a first down by Eddie Thomas.
That's a big play in this football game. Now it looks like Saskatchewan will be content to go for a field goal, but you know Don Matthews, they may go for a fake. But that's a big swing right there. That could have been a touchdown, 7-point swing, and now it's going to have to settle for the field goal if they actually go through with it.
I don't think they'll gamble at this stage of the ball game with an opportunity to take the lead.
Actually, there's no reason to.
And Ridgway puts it through, so the Saskatchewan Roughriders, for the first time since the opening quarter, are in front of the Edmonton Eskimos with 28 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
And how about Dave Ridgway? Has he been reliable over the years or what?
In 1990, Ridgway set a CFL record for field goals with 59. He won't even get that many attempts this year. Well, the Riders have certainly thrown some new wrinkles into their defensive alignments this afternoon, involving McLeod and Dave Lavelle, Dan Grayson. Chris Johnson on the kickoff return. Following some blocking along the sidelines and taking it all the way to the Saskatchewan 37-yard line, forced out by Stacey Hairston.
And Benny Goods got a great block on this kickoff return. Number 40, Benny Goods.
18 seconds remaining.
Edmonton, number 40. First down, Edmonton.
But the ball will be taken back to near the midfield stripe as the result of the penalty with 19 seconds left.
There's probably no other team in pro football that brings out fans on the road the way the Riders do. They're everywhere at Commonwealth Stadium today. Riders supporters. Hey, I love this. It's got CBC, says crazy but confident. Don, I'm thinking we might have jumped on this home of the champions logo a little bit too soon. I think crazy but confident might suit our department better. What do you think?
I'm not going to comment on that one, Scott. You're on your own there. Mickey, the ball carrier, and he slides into the 50 for a gain of about 4. He went down in front of Dan Grayson on the final play of the third quarter. So the Saskatchewan Roughriders take a 3-point lead into the final 15 minutes.
January 24th for the fourth annual.
To start the fourth quarter, 2nd and 6 Edmonton from the 50-yard line of Saskatchewan. Mickey is caught from behind and hauled down by Gary Lewis. And that should effectively take the Eskimos out of field goal range.
Well, you see Gary Lewis so often will get into that quarterback's eyes. He's usually to the wide side of the field. This time Mickey tried to look back, and guess who was coming up from behind?
Big mismatch there when you got Gary Lewis against Walling as a running back. But I think it's very important right now for Mickey to go off to the sideline, gain his composure back, and go back and do the things he did in the first quarter that established the tempo of this whole game. It seems like he has gotten completely away from it.
He's got to move the pocket a little bit more. Got to get the ball to his receivers, Ellis and Sandusky.
Quick throws, quick releases.
Nowhere for Saunders to go. He was surrounded by about 4 Eskimos, including Chris Johnstone, a 43-yard punt by Glenn Harper. Statistically, the Edmonton Eskimos have the edge, 282 net yards to 205 for Saskatchewan. But the Eskimos have been guilty of 4 turnovers, and Saskatchewan has produced 17 points as a result of those turnovers.
And Saskatchewan's hardly had the football in that third quarter.
Now it's up to Kent Austin to try and get something going. His team leads by 3. Austin from the shotgun. has time, throws across the field to Elgard. He's got a first down.
I think he's past the line of scrimmage, though, Don.
And he is upset. Kent Austin is really upset. I don't know if he's upset with the official or himself, but he started to run, and then he saw big Ray Elgard come open.
Legal pass. Saskatchewan number 5. First down, repeat it.
Don Matthews appears to be very calm in spite of it all. Watch this. Is he across the line of scrimmage? By about a yard.
Yeah, by about a yard. You see that so often this year. The quarterbacks seem to be content to throw the ball rather than run with it.
2nd and 20. Austin for Fairholm. No catch. The throw was low. Fairholm tried to get his hands under it, but the official ruled that he did not.
I think we're seeing too many 6 receivers and 5 receivers and all of that stuff, and we're not seeing the quarterbacks run as much as we used to see. I can remember many times seeing quarterbacks get called for being beyond the line of scrimmage because they change their mind and figure, hey, I'll go throw it to somebody that would rather run with it than me.
Well, a good omen for the Roughriders, and a good statistic. Penalty flag. Austin was going to throw deep for Williams. He can't quite catch up with it.
We got 2 flags down out there. I think we're going to get the first flag that went down as an offside against Edmonton on Odoms, and then there's a roughing the passer right at the last minute as Austin released the ball.
Offside. Edmonton number 36. Roughing the passer. Edmonton number 40. First down, Saskatchewan.
Odom and Goods are the 2 guilty parties. First down, Saskatchewan. The ball is at the 29.
Just coming right from the bottom of your screen, right at the last minute. He throws the arm out, gets it around the neck. It's not really flagrant, but as much as he goes, gets hit in the head. Austin goes down, does a little bit of a drama act in there, gets the flag, and that's the main thing.
There's another penalty flag at the line of scrimmage as Williams hauls the ball down. It looks like a face mask call against Saskatchewan, or a holding call, I should say, against Saskatchewan.
On the kick return.
Saskatchewan number 33. First down, repeat it.
Saunders is guilty of holding with 12:49 remaining in the game. 2017, Saskatchewan leads Edmonton in this battle for 2nd place in the West.
Don Matthews came up with a saying that if you hit a guy late, you better make sure it's the last time that you ever get a chance to hit him in your life. If not, get there sooner before you hit him.
1st and 20. Austin screens to Saunders. Narcisse throws a block. There's a penalty flag. Saunders gets all the way to the Edmonton 52, but there's a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage. Another holding call, Saskatchewan.
He looks really calm standing on the sideline. It's kind of like
procedure. Saskatchewan, number 81, face mask. Saskatchewan, number 44. Still first down.
There's the procedure with Elgard coming across the line of scrimmage prior to the ball being snapped.
Well, they used to do a little skip so they wouldn't get to that line of scrimmage, but I don't see anybody doing the skip anymore.
Well, they run the screen to the opposite side, so that he was not even in the play at all, so you should not be offsides. You should not be included in the play.
1st and 30 intended for Don Narcisse. It will be 2nd and 30, Saskatchewan. Kent Austin has to throw the football 7 more times to establish a single season record for attempts, and I think it's safe to assume we'll see that in the 4th quarter today.
I'll bet on it.
Be careful, Joe. You're going to be arrested for gambling.
We may see that in the next 7 or 10 snaps.
Yeah, I'm sure in the next 8 plays we may see 7 passes. Don't count the punts.
Austin mishandles the snap. B.K. Williams deep. He can't make the catch. There's a penalty flag. Interference. Maybe the call against Damian Lyons.
Well, and you know the way this game was going, the only thing to get Saskatchewan out of a 2nd and 30 would be a penalty.
And that is the one thing that you know mentally that you do not ever want to get in that situation.
Wasn't
Had a
intentional.
penalty on almost every play in this fourth quarter.
Well, it comes back into making it an opinion call here.
Forward
Non-intentional.
pass interference. Edmonton number 10, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. First down, Saskatchewan.
Well, they don't get the yardage that they might have had it been an intentional interference call, but they still get themselves into a first down situation up at the 22-yard line.
There's Damian Lyons. Oh, that is...
Come on now, let them play football out there. That's pretty close.
First and 10 from the 22. Austin for Elgard. First down up to the 45. Tackled by Trent Brown.
Nice bootleg play by Kent Austin, and he's going to his bread and butter receiver.
Looking to the front side of the play, he cannot see B.K. Williams out on the wide out. He's covered, but he does a great job of throwing the ball back across his body to his main target, Ray Elgard.
The way Ray Elgard is playing, sometime early in the 1994 season, he should establish a career record for yards. Fairholm will have about 7 more, stopped by Eddie Thomas. Brian Kelly, a former teammate of yours, Dan, with the Edmonton Eskimos, holds the league record, 11,169 yards. Elgard has been averaging 974 yards per season, and he's just shy of 10,000 right now, so about another year and a half, he should be the all-time leader.
Well, the frustration for the Edmonton Eskimos is that Willie Pless and those inside people, they're not getting much action. Ruck, Pless, everything's outside.
Well, they go inside this time, and maybe that's one of the reasons they haven't been going inside, is because they can't go anywhere. Now, do you gamble on third down?
Absolutely.
9:50 remaining in the game. Kent Austin will keep. He gets it. He dives into the midfield stripe. Don Matthews relieved that his team retains possession of the ball and is taking valuable time off the clock, leading by 3 points.
Well, Saskatchewan didn't get the football in the third quarter as a result of that fumbled punt return. Now you're seeing the same thing happening to Edmonton. They're not getting the football.
The great thing about Kent Austin, he handles possession-type quarterback. He is a controlled quarterback.
But you know he's going to throw. Ruck was after him. The pass intended for Elgard, way beyond his reach. How difficult for Larry Ruck to make the adjustment from outside linebacker to the inside position this year?
Extremely. It's just a great compliment to him as an athlete, because he is an outside linebacker. You're used to everything coming at you from one angle, from inside, so you're seeing it coming from one side. All of a sudden you're in the middle and everything is crossing from side to side, so things can be hit and you can be blocked from both ways.
And it's particularly difficult for a man who has a vision problem with one eye.
Just even more of a compliment to him of what he has actually accomplished this year. He is just a standout.
Well, this man has been a standout. Kent Austin throwing for another standout, Elgard. Down to the 20-yard line. Odom made the tackle.
Do not go to sleep in the secondary anytime Kent Austin has his hands on the ball. Find a receiver, lock up, get with somebody. Do not allow anybody to be running free like that, because Austin has the chance and he has the arm to get it to any of those receivers at any time.
34 yards in that reception. Elgard now 4 for 89, and he is the leader in the CFL.
Kent Austin's getting outside the contain, and that's the key to it. He's got time to throw.
Hand off to Saunders, and Saunders is unable to break away from Larry Ruck.
There's one thing you don't want to give Kent Austin. That's time to find a receiver open, because he sees the entire field.
Kent Austin had 5,663 passing yards coming into this game.
This is a big down for the Eskimos if they want to make a comeback. You've got to hold him to a field goal in this situation.
7:33 the time remaining. 2nd and 7. Austin's pass for Elgard. Did he make the catch?
Nobody's making a call. All the refs are looking at one another.
Brown says no.
This is interesting.
The official says yes.
Somebody's got to step up there and at least take the responsibility to make the call right there on the spot, right now, not look 4 or 5 seconds later.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
That was a catch.
That was a catch there. And it looks good in our living room, but that's about it.
Isn't it easy to do when you see it on replay?
In all fairness to the officials, they do not have that benefit, but they did make the correct call. 1st and goal, Saskatchewan from the 8-yard line. Handoff to Saunders. Saunders cutting back into the middle, and he stopped at the 5-yard line. The ball came loose, but I think the whistle had already gone.
Well, good call. A draw play down in the inside the 10-yard line. That's always a good call. Now the big call is 2nd and 5 on the goal line.
Get Austin to Elgard.
I would say he'd look for Elgard.
The big thing about this drive for Saskatchewan is that it has been time-consuming. 6:15 remaining in the game. Austin intended for B.K. Williams. Stefan Jordan had him wrapped up well. So now the field goal unit will come up. Kent Austin has now tied Doug Flutie's single-season record for pass attempts, 730 times. Austin has put it in the air. The next one will enable the Saskatchewan quarterback to etch his name into the CFL record book.
Larry Rudd goes into that huddle. Defense said, stay on sides, watch the shift, which would take those offensive linemen going from a 2-point down to a 3-point. Do not be offside. Do not give an extra play here.
Ridgway with the field goal to give Saskatchewan a 6-point lead with 5:52 remaining. A win for the Riders would move them into a 2nd-place tie in the West with Edmonton. J.J. Celestine handles the ball on the kickoff, and he's taken out of bounds at the 36-yard line. 5:49 remains. We'll be back right after this. 1st and 10. Edmonton. The Eskimos at their own 36. Gizmo on the hitch screen. He breaks one tackle. And Gizmo turns what could have been a loss into a gain of 10. He got away initially from Robert Banks.
That's just pure athletic skill. They get the ball out to one of their big guns, Henry Williams. And when he makes that first guy miss, the crowd takes a breath because they know anything can happen now.
And that first guy he made miss is Ty Jones, and he didn't. You're doing something when you make a guy like that miss a tackle on you.
The measurement reveals an Edmonton 1st down. They are just outside their own 46-yard line.
Mickey is not without some weapons. He's got Henry Williams and Jim Sandusky on the outside.
Craig Ellis isn't bad either.
And he's got a guy he's thrown to quite often on the inside.
5:19 remaining in the game with the clock running. 1st and 10. 3 receivers wide to the left. Mickey fakes inside. Mickey throws deep. Incomplete, penalty flag. Kim McLeod, who was covering Casey Dunn, is going to be called for interference.
Forward pass interference. Saskatchewan number 29, 15 yards. Automatic 1st down.
Well, penalties sure have played a big part in this ball game. That is contact before the ball. Who's to judge whether or not he could have made the reception? I don't think so. I don't think he could have got up that high.
I don't think it is. I think it should just go line it back up again and snap the ball.
From the 49 of Saskatchewan, 1st and 10. Handoff to Michael Souls. He'll pick up just a couple of yards before being driven back by Gerald Bayless. Over the middle to J.J. Celestine. And it's a 1st down Edmonton at the 30.
Now remember, this drive started from the 36-yard line, and Tom Mickey has shown a tremendous amount of poise. This is only his 2nd start. And he got his parents up here, and this Baylor graduate's doing pretty well.
Quick mental lapse there by the middle linebacker, Bernard, as Ellis slides and catches it. Bernard just kind of stands on him and doesn't touch him. Ellis, being the smart veteran that he is, jumps up, picks up another couple yards. Somebody from the offensive line comes by and gives Bernard a little shot in the mouth for his effort.
Walling takes the handoff, and Walling is wrestled down by Gary Lewis. 3:22 remaining in the game. 23-17, Saskatchewan leads.
And what's impressive about Saskatchewan's defense is they're playing the run well, and they haven't seen it that much today, but when they do see it, they're doing a good job.
Lewis goes out, an extra defensive back comes in. Mickey for Craig Ellis. He'll be close to a first down. He was tackled by Glenn Suter with 2:51 remaining in the game. Gerald Bayless, 265 pounds, a 6-year CFL veteran in the middle of that Saskatchewan defensive line. And he'll be tested here as he was in the previous play when he sent Mickey flying, trying to stop the Eskimos on 3rd and just over a yard. A big 3rd down play. Mickey fakes, rolls to his left. He has it. He'll score! What a call by Tom Mickey.
You want to talk about some courage? That is a courageous call. And I think Ron Lancaster had something to do with that call, because that takes an awful lot of courage.
How would Lancaster know anything about faking a quarterback run? He never ran the ball like that.
Only when it counted.
But he took advantage of the situation, Joe. You're exactly right, because he countered to one side, and he drew on the case that Ty Jones, the defensive end on the right-hand side, was going to pinch down really hard. And when Ty did pinch, Mickey was able to roll out around him, and before Ty knew it, he was chasing him.
Sean Fleming adds the point after, so with 2:32 remaining in the game, the Edmonton Eskimos have a 1-point lead. Mickey with a great fake inside to Walling.
What Mickey did is he brought that ball, put it right in here, faked it, and then came out around the contain, and there was nobody left to stop him. Ty Jones took the bite on the back. And you can see Tom Mickey is saying, hey, whoa, I was just trying to make the first down, but I might as well make the touchdown.
As you say, excellent call, because any other time that they've run the ball just in a straight dive handoff situation like that, the Saskatchewan defense had shut them down completely.
Well, our Demon statistician, Sim Simoni, has been busy this afternoon, and it's nice to have Sim back with us. He missed a couple of weeks. He was in hospital for some surgery. Sim, nice to have you back.
He does look taller, doesn't he? I was wondering what that was. Yeah.
Saunders waits for the kickoff at the 15. Special teams player Jed Roberts makes the tackle. A 60-yard kickoff, a 17-yard return. But Tom Mickey could be the hero of this day for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Well, that's over a yard to go for first down. Quarterback sneaks out of the picture. I think a off tackle plays out of the picture, but the bootleg was okay. The bench liked it.
And now Kent Austin is going to throw the pass that will put his name into the CFL record books for the most attempts in one season. And it's a completion to Fairholm. Enos Jackson was there to make the tackle.
I can think of a lot of quarterbacks you'd like to have with the football with 2 minutes to go and down by less than a touchdown. But you know who I think would be one of the top? Kent Austin.
Hit screen to Fairholm. Fairholm's got the first down, taking the ball up to the 48-yard line, stopped by Stefan Jordan. And, you know, a tribute to that Saskatchewan offensive line is in order. Teams know that the Riders are going to throw the football, and yet they've allowed the fewest sacks in the league this year.
Well, I think that's a tribute to the offensive line, and I think it's a tribute to Kent Austin's ability to throw the ball quickly.
Incomplete over the middle, penalty flag. Saunders was interfered with by Dwayne Odom.
Forward pass interference. Edmonton number 36, 15-yard penalty, first down.
How do you know that it's a disadvantage for a linebacker to have to cover a running back with great speed?
Well, I can, from my history that I could say, the view that I saw most of the time of running away was not that pleasant.
You're usually knocking the quarterback down.
Austin for B.K. Williams, incomplete. Stephan Jordan was defending against him. There's a penalty flag. This is a late hit on Kent Austin.
I can't keep stressing this enough about discipline. Discipline being mentally strong out there, and that is just another undisciplined act that took place as a penalty.
Roughing the passer, Edmonton number 96, first down Saskatchewan.
Make the team beat you. Don't beat yourself.
Rob Davidson is guilty of interference, and the Roughriders are now within field goal range for David Ridgway. There's the late hit.
Davidson's a guy that listens to heavy metal on his Walkman before the ball games. Maybe he should tone it down.
1st and 10 from the 32. Austin throws back into the middle, and this will be a gain of about 6 or 7 yards for Ray Elgard.
Good job by Ray Elgard, just finding the open seam. He sees the coverage now. He's trying to help his quarterback. You see him work to the open seam.
You know, we talked about and mentioned earlier that Elgard and Fairholm, when they hit that line of scrimmage, sometimes maybe offside, but that's pretty tough to time that run as well, to hit the line of scrimmage. You got to give them a lot of credit for the job they've done over the years. Elgard on the receiving end of the throw. He takes it inside the 20-yard line. Trent Brown made the tackle with help from Larry Ruck. 1:20 remains.
And they're in field goal range, so what they don't want to do is get a turnover in these situations. Expect to see some sort of a run. This is automatic for Dave Ridgway. You know he's going to get it in from here. They don't want to turn the football over, but 7 points would be a bigger lead.
Well, David Ridgway has faced the pressure situation before. The 1989 Grey Cup game where he kicked the game-winning field goal against the Hamilton Ticats. Saunders met head-on by Larry Ruck. No gain on the play. 58 seconds remaining.
And that's the important thing. You know, they took up a lot of time and they're in scoring position. So to take up that time, that gives the Eskimos very little time to make the comeback.
Eskimos at any point in time now that they're running the ball, they're tackling the ball. They're trying to reach in there, put their helmet on the ball, reach in, grab the ball, grab the arms, trying to strip that ball loose, create a fumble or a turnover any way they can.
Austin will attempt to use all of the 20-second clock. He takes it down to 3 seconds before calling for the football, gives it to Saunders. He gets to the 1.
Well, we knew we'd see the run, but we didn't think we'd see it that effectively. Saunders just hurdled one of the would-be tacklers, nearly scored the touchdown.
Incredible effort that time when he actually broke the tackle at the line of scrimmage and then was able to break it and get outside. So he showed not only strength, but speed.
He's quite a running back. You see the move that he puts on here. I mean, he's been hit and stopped, and then he breaks back to the outside. He made 2 people miss.
Well, you see the guy he hurdled there. You got to come over there and you got to make that tackle. Get your arms and wrap them around.
1st and goal, Austin keeps. No signal yet. He didn't make it on his first attempt. 19 seconds remain. The Saskatchewan fans in attendance this afternoon at Commonwealth Stadium have had something to cheer about, and they've copied the Atlanta Braves in doing the chop as Austin keeps. This time it appears he's in. He is a touchdown with 17 seconds remaining, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders lead at 29-24 with the point after still to come.
And Edmonton was late getting into the substitution there. They had two players going into the field. They didn't really get set, did they, Dan?
No, Larry Ruck and Willie Pless came in late, and I think that was part of, we talked about, mention of the substitution that Don Matthews does quite often, and those guys picked it up right at the last minute, were able to get in there, but I don't think that they were really set and prepared for that quarterback sneak.
Ridgway adds the point after. So with 17 seconds remaining, what might we see from the Edmonton Eskimos?
There's Kent Austin just following a good surge of his offensive line. That's a great job in there by Mike Anderson. Vida did a good job, and of course the old veteran Roger Aldag.
I can't think of a better escort service going into that end zone. Well, I think you're absolutely right about the kind of kick that we're going to see, and I think at this point it's very important for Giz or one of those guys to be able to get up there and field it rather than one of those bigger, less fleet-footed guys.
The ball is squibbed to Chris Johnstone. He tosses it out to the Gizmo. He's down at the 40 with 11 seconds remaining.
Precious time. They lost precious time there trying to do a little bit of a razzle-dazzle.
Well, they wanted to get it to their best return man, and they got it to Henry Williams. Now they're going to have to go deep, and of course Saskatchewan will be setting back there deep. But hey, remember last week? That's what Toronto thought.
Is this part of that prevent defense that you talked about earlier?
I remember last week the same thing happened late in the ball.
They were in a 4-deep zone, what they call their prevent defense, and they got into a man-to-man, one-on-one racing down the sideline.
73 yards in 23 seconds. The Bombers moved against the Argos to win it. Incomplete. 6 seconds remaining. So this will determine whether or not the Edmonton Eskimos are going to pull one out and take it away from Kent Austin. I don't think the chances are very promising.
Well, Kent Austin deserves a lot of credit today. I mean, he's had some adversity. He's been hit late, he's been hit early, and he's been hit often, but he brought his team back.
This should be the final play of the football game. 30-24, Saskatchewan leads Edmonton. 4 receivers wide to the left. Mickey throwing it deep. He overthrew all of his receivers. It's intercepted by Glenn Sutter, and that's the ball game. Mickey threw it too far. Nobody could catch up with it. Sutter intercepts, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders defeat the Edmonton Eskimos 30-24 to move into a second-place tie with the Edmonton Eskimos. And now the Saskatchewan Roughriders control their own destiny. They wind up the season next week at McMahon Stadium in Calgary against the first-place Stampeders. And the Eskimos, if they hope to finish second, need some help from the Stampeders, and they must also beat the BC Lions.
Well, you got to credit Kent Austin. I mean, he brought his team back from behind on several occasions and had some great drives, and he faced a lot of adversity. He was knocked down on the ground. He kept getting back up.
And they got help both offensively and some big plays defensively today.
CBC Sports, home of the champion.